Yo, what's cracking, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Prison Break Raw. I'm your host, the one and only Big JD. Go ahead, get this channel subscribed, share at least some messages or comments, hit the thumbs up for the like, hit the notification bell to be informed on all episodes when they drop, or you can hit the thumbs down if you the typical hating Wessie sissy that suffers from a lack of testicular fortitude and low T. Go ahead and hit the thumbs down before you even watch the video. We already expect it. We already know it's coming. Does nothing to drive down the ratings. Does nothing to hurt anybody here at PBR. It just tickles us pink and makes us laugh at how pathetic you are. So go ahead and hit the thumbs down. It don't matter to me either way. Let's get into this right here. Prison and jail. What's the difference? I watch a lot of these different things that pop up in my feed, different clips from 60 Days In that a lot of people seem to be locked in on. I personally don't watch 60 Days In, don't have the stomach for it. I don't watch Lockup or any of those other channels that just talk all these falsities and all this bullshit and pumps up one person's bravado and ego and everything like that to talk about how Billy Badass they are and how great they are and how many people they killed and what they're shoving up their rectums and all this other stuff that goes on in these shows. But 60 Days In, what makes this show so much different than, like, let's say Lockup? Well, Lockup doesn't only take into account prison time itself, it also goes to various different county jails. So we're going to kind of break down the difference between prison and jail. And I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, and I'm probably beating a dead horse. Maybe I'm a little behind in the times. Who knows what it is? But I'm going to give you my take on all of it. I've heard some of the other, discussions about this in various other channels about 60 Days In and whatnot. But here's my take on the whole 60 Days In thing and the difference between prison and jail, because a lot of people that watch 60 Days In don't know the difference between prison and jail. So let's go ahead and run through the differences. So the difference is this: when you are in jail, specifically a county jail, we're not talking about a city jail, because the thing with a city jail is this: if you get arrested for a crime, any kind of a crime in a city, and it's not the sheriff's department that is arresting you, or it's a place that has a local city jail, you will go to that city jail and be booked first and foremost by the arresting agency, whatever the police department is that arrested you. If it is the sheriff's department of any place within the county that the city is in, you will probably go directly to the county jail, because that is the sheriff's jail. It's a larger jail than a city jail. But, like, let's say, for example, you get busted in, I don't know, the city of, let's just say, Anaheim, California, for example. You will go to the Anaheim City Jail. You'll be booked in there. You might stay there for 2 or 3 days, depending on when they can arraign you. They got to arraign you within, I believe it's 72 hours. They have to have you in there. Yeah, it is 72 hours. They have to have you in front of a judge and arraigned. The charges need to be brought to the district attorney. The district attorney needs to file them to the judge, and you need to be arraigned in the court. You sit in the city jail for about 2-3 days, depending on if it's a weekend, there's working days involved, there's a holiday, it could prolong your stay in that city jail. Now, the city jail is a very horrible place to be, man, because it's just straight nothing to do. It's just pure boredom. And I've been in a lot of different city jails. I've been in the Whittier City Jail. I've been in the Buena Park City Jail, the Anaheim City Jail, been in a couple other city jails, Cypress City Jail. And I got to tell you, they're all the same. They're all pretty much the same. It's just a room with a bed, a sink, a toilet, and possibly a phone. Most of them that I've ever been in had phones. They're dark, they're bleak, they're boring. Nothing to do. The only thing that you have to look forward to is when they bring you out for a shower or when they bring you your meal. That's it. That's all there is to do in those city jails. You look forward to when they actually come, hook you up, and take you to the county jail. Now, the county jail is a city jail on steroids. It's bigger, it's wider, it's a place where you're actually going to either fight your case or you will be sentenced to county jail time. Mostly for misdemeanor cases or felony probation type cases. You'll have to do your sentence there until you get out on your felony probation. Probation is much different than parole, but we'll get into that at the end of this. So you go to the county jail. And it's usually it's a holding facility that has many different pods, modules, whatever they're called. Orange County, they call them modules. LA County, depending on if it's a supermax or not, they call them pods. They're called units when they're up there in the Central County Jail. You got, like, 9,500 and 2,300. We've been through all that before. East Max, they got big dorms. They're just called dorms, and so on and so forth. And the county jail will have TV sets. It'll have phones, beds, showers. Everything will be inside of a contained area. You may be on a certain location where there is no shower accessible to where you are in your cell, so they will pop you out and do shower calls at certain times, whatnot. But the county jail is where you end up to fight your case, or it is where you end up to do a county sentence. Commonly referred to in Orange County as a county lid. A year is a county lid in Orange County Jail. Anything less than that is like you get 6 months county time. They call it wino time. That's what we call it when we've been up in the state. You get wino time. LA County Jail, much different. Now the way California does it is if you got under 3 years of a sentence, a state sentence, you will go to the county jail. It's kind of modeled along the same idea as what they have in Texas, and we'll go ahead and get into that, the difference between the county jail, the state jail, and the actual TDC, Texas Department of Criminal Justice. So, the county jail is where most people are going to fight a case where they got a little bit amount of time they're going to do. They do it and they get out. And the philosophy in the county jail is much different than in the state. In the state, people are doing years, decades, life. In the county jail, California now with the new law changes and everything, you're doing up to 3 years. Now, there's a notable person that was on the show 60 Days In, and the infamous Abner. I mean, who can forget this clown that was on this show? I don't know what he was. He was like a pastor or a cop or something like that. Whatever the case was, this dude was like hamming for the camera, talking about big badass, Billy Badass he is, and how he's with the racial politics and smacking people in the face. Of course, he smacked this one kid when the camera wasn't exactly, camera was looking at a wall. So I have to believe he probably smacked the wall and the kid just went flying back like he gets smacked. It's all staging, it's all bullshit. Abner's a clown. If Abner was in the state prison in California, that dude wouldn't last 5 minutes because he's just a straight ass clown. He's an idiot, man. He talks woofing. You know, a lot of that optics and stuff that we talk about, and people, how people see something and go, oh man, he's a badass. And a lot of people that don't know, didn't know anything about Abner, if they wouldn't have told you what he was or who he was, people be like, wow, that man's a real gangster. But he's not. He's a lame. He's a clown. And for those of us that know how to spot a real G, knows this right off the rip. Because we know, we've been around and we've lived this long, not for being weak or being a weenie or being phony. We've lived this long because we with the business and we real. And that's just the way it is. You can just spot this shit. But there's all kinds of phonies out there. Most people don't know how to spot them. It is my greatest hopes that I will be teaching at least some of you how to spot the bullshit from a mile away, just by the things that they say. Little sound bites and tips for you to spot deception just through what they're talking about. It's easy for somebody like me, and I understand it's not that easy for a lot of other people, but this dude Abner, and he's kind of like the pillar of what 60 Days In is, because anytime I ever look on my YouTube, all I see is clips of Abner, and Abner's antics inside this jail, where a bunch of winos are just doing a few days. Nobody wants to play in that bullshit politics. I'm going to tell you straight up, man, if I was in that fucking jail with Abner and he was talking all that shit, it would have been a much different story. And the mindset that I used to be in when I was going in and out of those places, there's no way in hell. That's why I know a lot of it's staged, or either that, everybody in there is soft as goddamn cotton. I looked around at that jail, watched that little clip of the video. That jail looks like it's soft as cotton anyways. But it's a county jail, man. People are in there. They're not really violent criminals. They're not really criminals. They're drunks. They're drug addicts. They're all these other things. They get caught up with just a few days they got to do, and they want to get out. They just want to get in and get out. When you sentence to the state prison, it's a much different story, right? You there for years, man. That's your world. People in the county jail, their mind is still on the streets because they're going back out to the streets very soon. In the state, not the same. So what is the difference between the state and the county jail? It's just that. Like I said, it's the mentality. The mentality that you know that you're going to be out in a few days. You're going to be right back to the crack pipe, right back to the needle, right back to digging around in the dumpster looking for aluminum cans so that you could buy another blunt and make another video on YouTube and talk about how you live in a penthouse. All these other little things is what it is in the county jail. Unless you fight in a hot one, unless you fight in a case, but they usually put those people in different parts of the jail. Orange County, for example, when I was in there, I've been in there several times. I could tell you about that place forwards and back. I could tell you up, down, side to side, what it looks like. I could draw you a map of the place and show you the whole layout of the IRC and the main jail, even the music farm, James A. Music Facility that's in Irvine, even Theo Lacey, the old part of what it used to be and the new part. The whole thing, I can draw the whole diagram out because I've been there so many goddamn times. In Orange County Jail, you know who you are according to wristband. At least that's how it was the last time I was there. It's probably changed since with the new changes that are coming with, you know, the influx of people that have actually gone SNY. It's probably completely different now. But back in the day when I was there, Orange County Jail broke down like this. You had a white wristband if you were a minimum security threat. You've only been to the county jail once. You're going to be in and out of there. You're eligible to go to the farm. You have a white wristband on in Orange County Jail. The next step you go up is a yellow band. That means you've been in the county jail a few times, or you've been upstate, or you've been into some melees in there, some fights, some riots, whatnot. You get the yellow wristband. Orange band. That's pretty much considered to be high power. Now, a lot of people think that the red wristband is high power, but the red wristband is not high power. The red wristband means that you are ADSEG, right? That's basically just lockdown. You could call it high power if you want, but high power, the term high security, is reserved for the orange wristband. And the only difference between the orange wristband and the red wristband is that the red wristband, you're locked down by yourself. Pretty much no human contact outside of talking through the walls. The orange wristband, you are in a cell with one other guy, and you are able to function with one other cell. So there's going to be 4 of you out on the day room for a period of an hour to 2 hours, depending on where you are at, each day or every other day. And that's how the orange band works. The orange band is kind of like the SHU program in the Orange County Jail. I've been an orange bander since 1999 is how long I've been an orange bander. It was 1998. I ended up getting the orange band, got out of there. It's been a long time. I haven't been there in a long time, but when you're an orange bander, they shackle you up wherever you go. You go to court, you're shackled. You go to the doctor, you're shackled. Go to the dentist, you're shackled. Anytime you move outside of that unit, you're shackled. Anytime you step foot outside of your cell as an ADSEG red bander, you're shackled. So these are the high power blocks. The next one you got is a blue wristband, commonly referred to as PC. And if you got a blue wristband on, there's no man, let me explain. Oh, you don't understand. There's no explaining it. You are a PC, and that's what you are when you have the blue wristband on. There's no explaining it. There's no talking it down. There's no saying anything at all. You're a blue bander, you're a PC, and that's what it is. And that's how it works in Orange County. LA County Jail, pretty much the same thing. It's like a red band. If you see somebody with a red wristband in LA County, they could be either PC or they could be some kind of a keep away or a K10, K11, K9, whatnot. Wristband is what they're called. Blue band in LA County means that you have an escape or you're a keep away from your co-defendant. And then everybody else is just white. So the county jail, people that are waiting to be sentenced, people that are doing a little bit of county time in California specifically, 3 years or less on a state case. And that is the difference. The mindset of people in the county, I'm going to be getting out soon, or I'm probably never going to get out, or I'm fighting a case. So they try to, be low pro as much as they can. But the shit pops off in the county jail all the time, especially with a lot of them youngsters that knows that they ain't going to win their case. They got no chance, no hope. They don't give a fuck. And they go hard on people, especially these people that come in with a little bit of wino time. They go hard on them fools, and it's all bad. And a lot of county jails are much dangerous than the state in a lot of cases, because the state, you're finally settled in. You got politics on a much higher degree to deal with in there, and you have to go according to those politics at all times, especially racial politics. Some county jails may not be so lucky to benefit from the politics. Especially if you're one of these new generation people that hate prison politics and thinks it's stupid, go to the LA County Jail and walk up in there and see how you feel about politics then. When people are taking all your shit, beating you up, abusing you, and treating you really bad, because you don't want to fit into the politics or you don't like the politics. It's the way it is. In Orange County Jail, you ain't going to run in there and do your own program either. It's just the way it is. You're going to have to follow them rules. If you go into a wino tank in Orange County Jail, probably ain't got much to worry about. But then again, you got predatory behavior from the youngsters that just probably wants to like peel your cap and rip the frame off your ass if you get in their way. So these are the differences. When you watch 60 Days In, take it with a grain of salt and understand that it is a show. It's bullshit. It's not real. It's a bunch of actors. None of those people would ever be put in a real jail situation with real inmates because it is a possible lawsuit if one of them gets their freaking cap peeled, especially somebody like Abner Wolf and all that shit. He gets bum rushed and gets his head split open, his face split, whatnot, a couple of holes poked in him. That's a major lawsuit. So legally, by law, and under the courts and the jurisdiction and statutes of the sheriff's department or the CDC or whatever justice department that runs that jail, basically would never let somebody walk in like that. It's all bullshit. So I hope this clears it up for you. Go ahead, leave me some comments. Get your hate on. Leave your comments. Give me your feedback. I listen to it all. You can follow me on Instagram. And remember, it's like I said, go check out alightsports.com to do your gambling. Got the Super Bowl coming up. So go check out alightsports.com and see if you can get some kind of deals and work your way in there and make you a couple bucks. That's it, and I'm out. Prison Break Raw, uncut, uncensored, no holds barred, non-sugarcoat, not politically correct, all up in your face, slapping you with that dick of reality. We done.